Picture this. You are 17 years old. You come from money. Your family has wealth, comfort, a name that opens doors. And you walk away from all of it. Not because you have to, but because you refuse to let comfort be the ceiling of your life. This is not a story about a boy who had nothing. This is the story of a boy who had everything, and chose ambition over safety, uncertainty over ease, and a burning vision over a guaranteed future. This is the story of Elon Musk, the immigrant who left South Africa with little more than an idea and became the richest human being on the face of this earth. Pretoria, South Africa, June 28, 1971. Elon Reeve Musk is born into a world of privilege. His father, Elon Musk, is a successful engineer and property developer. The family has money. The family has status. By most measures, Elon Musk had already won the lottery of life before he ever drew his first breath. But here is the thing about a restless mind. It does not care about comfort. While other kids played outside, young Elon buried himself in books. He devoured encyclopedias, not for school, but because he was hungry for knowledge that no classroom could contain. By the age of 12, he had taught himself to code and sold his first software, a video game called Blaster, for $500. 12 years old. But South Africa in the 1980s was not a place where a kid dreaming of rockets and technology could find his future. The tech landscape was barren compared to what was happening in America, and looming on the horizon, mandatory military service in an apartheid regime he wanted no part of. Elon Musk looked at the life mapped out for him and felt something most people with privilege never feel: suffocated. The golden cage was still a cage, and he was already planning his escape. Imagine standing at a crossroads at 17 years old. On one side, a life already built for you. Wealth, comfort, certainty. On the other side, an ocean, an unknown continent, and nothing but belief in yourself. In 1989, Elon Musk chose the ocean. Leveraging his mother May's Canadian citizenship, he boarded a plane to Canada, leaving behind the privilege of Pretoria with little more than his ambition packed into his luggage. No guaranteed job, no master plan laid out on paper. Just an unshakable conviction that North America was where the future was being written, and he was not willing to miss that story. Think about what that takes. Most people, even people with far less to lose, stay. They stay because the familiar is comfortable. They stay because uncertainty is terrifying. Elon Musk had every reason to stay, and he left anyway. That single decision, made at 17 on a plane from South Africa, would eventually change the course of human history. But first, it would nearly break him. Canada did not roll out a red carpet. The boy who grew up with housekeepers and private schools now found himself crawling through the dark, filthy interior of a lumber mill's boiler room, shoveling out hardened muck and industrial waste for $18 an hour. He harvested vegetables under a blazing sun. He worked shifts that left his hands raw and his body exhausted. Picture that for a moment. A kid who could have been lounging by a pool in Pretoria, scrubbing grime off factory floors in Canada. And here is what makes Elon Musk different from almost everyone else. He did not resent it. He endured it. Because he understood something that most people never learn. Your past does not fund your future. Work does. Eventually, he made his way south, to the United States, earning a place at the University of Pennsylvania. But financial pressure never disappeared. He and his brother Kimball reportedly split their rent on a house and turned it into a nightclub on weekends just to help cover costs. The glamour of Silicon Valley success stories hides 1,000 nights like these. Nights of scraping, sacrificing, and surviving. But Elon Musk was not surviving. He was studying, absorbing, preparing. Every grueling job, every dollar pinched, every uncomfortable night was fuel being stored for the explosion that was coming. 1999. Elon Musk sells his first company, Zip2, a web software startup, for over $300 million. Most people would stop there, retire at 27, buy the yacht, call it a life. Elon Musk looked at $300 million and saw rocket fuel. He poured $100 million into founding SpaceX, betting that private industry could do what NASA had stopped dreaming about, sending humans to another planet. He invested another $70 million into Tesla, a company trying to convince the world that electric cars were not a fantasy. Everyone around him said he was insane. Investors laughed. Experts published articles predicting his failure. And then, 2008 arrived. The global financial crisis. And both SpaceX and Tesla stood on the absolute edge of collapse, simultaneously. 3 SpaceX rocket launches had failed. Tesla was burning through cash. Elon Musk's personal fortune was nearly gone. He was borrowing money from friends just to pay his rent. In an interview, he described breaking down in tears during that period. The weight of potentially failing thousands of employees, losing 2 companies he had poured his soul into, and watching his vision for humanity's future crumble in real time. But in December of 2008, SpaceX's Falcon 1 became the first privately built liquid-fueled rocket to reach orbit, and Tesla secured a critical investment deal on Christmas Eve, the last possible day before bankruptcy. The crucible did not destroy him. It revealed him. What happened next rewrote the history of human ambition. Tesla did not just survive. It became the most valuable car company on Earth. It forced every major automaker on the planet to abandon the internal combustion engine and race toward electric vehicles. One immigrant's stubbornness accelerated the world's transition to sustainable energy by decades. SpaceX did not just survive. It fundamentally changed space exploration forever. It developed the Falcon 9 rocket, a reusable rocket that slashed the cost of reaching space. It launched astronauts to the International Space Station when NASA could not. It built Starlink, a satellite internet constellation that now connects millions of people in the most remote corners of the Earth. And it is building Starship, the most powerful rocket ever constructed, designed to carry human beings to Mars. The boy from Pretoria, the one who cleaned boiler rooms in Canada, who borrowed money to keep his dreams alive, who cried in the darkest hours of 2008, that boy now builds vehicles destined for another planet. By 2025, Elon Musk stood as the wealthiest person in human history. Forbes estimated his net worth at a staggering $809 billion as of April 2026. But here is what the number does not tell you. It was never about the money. It was about refusing to let the world stay small when he could see how large it could be. So what is the real lesson of Elon Musk's story? It is not that you need to be privileged to succeed, and it is not that privilege guarantees anything either. The real lesson is this: comfort is the enemy of greatness. Elon Musk had every reason to stay comfortable. He had wealth, he had status, he had a guaranteed future. And he looked at all of it, and chose courage instead. He chose the unfamiliar country. He chose the boiler room. He chose the failed rocket launches. He chose the tears in 2008. Because he understood that on the other side of every terrifying leap is the life you were actually built to live. Maybe you are watching this right now from a country that feels too small for your dreams. Maybe you are an immigrant who is exhausted, working jobs that do not match your potential, wondering if the sacrifice was worth it. Maybe you are still at home, afraid to take the first step. Hear this. The world does not need you to be comfortable. The world needs you to be courageous. Your background, whether it is privilege or poverty, is just the starting line. It is not the finish line. What you do with the ground beneath your feet, that is your story. If a kid from Pretoria can clean boiler rooms in Canada, build rockets in California, and change the destiny of the human species, what is your excuse? This has been Immigrant Blueprint. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it today. Subscribe for more stories of immigrants who refuse to let the world define their limits. The blueprint is yours. Now build.